Hello and welcome or welcome back. If you haven't seen me already, I'm Shakina Toahene, Deputy Editor of Mortgage Solutions, and thank you for being with us today. I hope you've enjoyed today's session so far. I'm joined by Simon Clark, Key Account Manager at MPowered Mortgages, who will be joining me for this session to talk about artificial intelligence and technology in the mortgage sector. So thank you for being here with me. And as some of you might know, it has been a bit of a hot topic, both within the financial services sector and more broadly. And earlier this month, the FCA did announce that it would launch a sandbox to allow firms to test this technology. And this week, the government did say that it wanted the UK's financial services sector to be technology advanced. So it seems whether the sector is prepared for it or not, technology and AI will play a major role in financial services going forward. So it is time to prepare for that. So with that, I will pass over to Simon for the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Shakina. Really appreciate your introduction there. Cool. Well, hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name's Simon Clark, and I'm the Key Account Manager at MPowered Mortgages, a fintech lender with heavily invested in cutting-edge technology, including AI and machine learning. Now, I know AI is one of those terms that gets thrown around a lot, sometimes with more hype than substance. But what I want to do today is cut through the noise and show you how it's actually being used in mortgage lending right now and where it's heading. So whether you're in an administrative or back office role, working close with advisors, or just curious about how things are evolving, I hope today's session will give you a real world insight and some practical takeaways. Here's what we're covering today. We're looking to explore three core areas. So how AI and automation are transforming mortgage processing. So from mortgage application and submissions to underwriting and fraud detection. Then tools and platforms that improve efficiency. So what's available now and how brokers and admin teams are already using them. And then finally, the future of AI in mortgage administration. So what's next on the horizon, including hyper-personalization and end-to-end automation. We're at a fascinating moment in time. So in fact, you've probably seen more change in the industry towards tech innovation in the last 5 years than in the previous 2 decades combined. Think about this. Not long ago, submitting a mortgage application meant printing, scanning, emailing, or even faxing, and waiting for days for an update. Underwriters are often buried in paperwork. Admin teams spend hours tracing documents to correcting errors. But now, thanks to automation, AI, and better platform integration, we are seeing applications completed in 10 minutes rather than an hour, same-day mortgage offers issued with everything lines up, and routine admin tasks from document checks to credit analysis being handled by intelligent systems, freeing up time for higher valued work. We're starting to see brokers and admins and customers alike expecting speed and efficiency with regards to case processing. And although this might be the exception for us at MPowered, this will soon start to be expected norm in the market. Conversations for brokers to customers will soon be turned from hopeful to have your offer in a couple of weeks to we should have your offer out later today. This gives the customers that peace of mind and certainty of having secured their mortgage and increasing reputation and trust for the brokers, including ultimately saving costs through efficiency. Now, AI isn't magic. It's not about to replace people. It's about removing repetitive and manual tasks so that humans can focus on judgment, empathy, and relationships. All the things that machines aren't good at. We're not here to talk about robots doing mortgages. We're here to talk about collaborative intelligence, AI and automation as tools that empower administrators, advisors, and lenders to do their job better and faster. AI and automation are fundamentally changing how the mortgage applications are processed. From the moment a broker or an admin keys details into the system to the point where the offer is being issued. Additionally, mortgage processing has been labor intensive with multiple handovers between broker, admin teams, underwriters, and lenders. There are checks, forms, validations, back and forth emails, all of which take time and can slow things down or introduce risk. AI is changing that, not by replacing people, but by enhancing how we work. At MPowered, we've built our mortgage origination platform from the ground up with AI and machine learning at its core, designed to speed, efficiency, and smart automation. I've had the opportunity to work closely with brokers and administrators across the UK, helping them use these tools to deliver better outcomes for clients. Let's look at the application summary and affordability assessment stages. Now, traditionally, these are very time-consuming stages in the process. Completing a full mortgage application, gathering the data, checking documents, confirming commitments. This can take up to an hour per case. It's slow, admin-heavy, and vulnerable to human error. But AI is changing that, and in some cases, reducing the same task to as little as 10 minutes. Let me give an example from our own platform at MPowered Mortgages. So on mpowered.co.uk, as long as we're logged in and click on intermediary page, we can start an AIP. Firstly, it takes us to the product page. So use the options here to filter the products, which will leave you with below with the product that matches your selection. And we can apply for that product now. After a quick declaration, we're into the AIP. So here, we're just going to add some details from the loan, including the term, and we're onto the applicant details. Now, one of the things I do want to show you in terms of processing or technology with regards to customers' credit is that we actually conduct the soft credit search very early on in the AIP process. This is great because, if a customer's credit doesn't pass credit either our criteria or score, the system will just give you a warning message under notifications on the right-hand side there to let you know not to carry on with the rest of the AIP because the application will just be declined because it's outside of policy. This is obviously going to save you from that friction that you get when using other lenders where you can complete a whole AIP for 20 minutes, including creating all the customer's credit commitments just to click a button to get a no at the end. As you can see here, because we've done that soft search so early on, we can pull through their credit commitments we found on Experian using links called APIs, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And all you need to tell us from the drop-downs is going to be post-completion, whether the commitment is ongoing, paid off with own funds, or being consolidated as part of this mortgage. Again, just some household details on expenditure. And we can click all the details now. Finishing off the payments. And I believe I've just missed where the property is located. We've completed all the details and we can now get AIP now. Now, we should have completed the credit search already, so this should just be completing the affordability check. We'll just refresh it as this is the test system that I'm using, so it doesn't auto refresh. There we go, and we've got an AIP. So we've got a couple of options here. We can complete it now or complete it later. So let's complete it now. And we've already done half the application right here. So the system has provided us with 3 more tabs to complete. So again, this is when we use another API or link when running the AVM. So after you've keyed in the property details, this runs in real time and is another opportunity to show you how we're getting you to complete a full mortgage application in less than 10 minutes. Because we're not asking you all the questions under the sun, we're asking for a few details, and we're going to try and pull the rest of the property data from various databases we have APIs links into, which will pull back data for us. And just here, I'm adding the applicant details because we didn't ask for these at AIP stage because we just don't need them. So it's less for you to fill out. But now we're doing the full application. We do need them. And as you can see, we've now got a green tick. So this is a live application and the system is pulling back data for us. So in fact, it's given us a notification on the side here with some questions about the property. We've got 7 questions here. So this might be because the details it's asking for were missing from the databases that we get the details from. but the system's clever enough to actually generate the required questions on its own to get the full data. And once we've completed these, we can move on with the rest of the application. Now, with documents, we do require documentation on submission to secure the rate because we're trying to do a live underwrite and give you an offer as soon as you press submit. So just drag and drop the documents and it's going to upload it, validate it, and the AI will check for fraud. Here we can see that it's found the payslip, but it's not within the correct date range. So if we have a look at what I uploaded, as you can see, I've uploaded April's, and I believe is asking us for May. It's not an issue. We've made a mistake, but thanks to the system validating it, we can now delete it off the case, as we don't want any documents that aren't relevant to the case. Now we can drag and drop the correct May payslip and watch as that goes through the AI validating process. Now, lastly, we're just checking asking for the direct debit details, how we introduce the customer, how much did you charge, and when is that payable. The solicitor as well, it's a searchable panel, so you can search if the solicitor is on panel. I know that Blacks are on there, so I can type the firm name, town name, or postcode, hit search, and select it from the drop down. And on the last page, the declaration, we've got a summary of the application, including product and associated fees, and we can submit the application. So there we go. I think you can see that, we've done an AIP and full application done back to back in, well, less than 5 minutes. So hopefully you can see how we get the speed out of the system using clever AI technology, API links, and a whole load of other tools in the background. As you saw from that demo, when you complete an AIP and move on to complete the full application, you're only needing to enter the details in once, and the system pulls them across into the full application. Using AI with automatically pulling that credit data from trusted sources, including major credit reference agencies like Experian. This will include things like outstanding debts, monthly financial commitments, credit utilization, and any missed payments or adverse credit. We also saw the system pull through a lot of property data. So we didn't have to fill out all of these details and the extra questions. The system actually generated itself by understanding there was missing data from the sources that we pulled the data from. So instead of admins needing to, cross-check these items, the system just does it instantly and accurately. What we didn't see actually in this demo, but I did mention because we're essentially doing a live or real-time underwrite on the case, we run that soft credit search after you've entered the applicant's information. And we then have enough details to actually find them on the credit reference agency and conduct a search. This means that if the credit doesn't pass our minimum score or credit criteria, we'll tell you straight away, so you're not wasting any more time completing a whole AIP with credit commitments just to get a no because it didn't fit credit. This just helps that, eliminate the biggest frustrations from admin keying all the credit commitments from customers. For mortgage administrators, this technology will change your role in a powerful way too. You're no longer having to be the detective trying to spot gaps, inconsistencies, or missing numbers manually. Instead, you're now overseeing a smarter system, validating edge or complex cases, and supporting your brokers with clear AI-driven feedback. It means fewer errors, faster applications, and more capacity to handle additional cases. Now, to provide you with some practical results, at MPowered, we've already seen the impact this has. Standard application submission times are, as you can see, cut from the traditional 45+ minutes right down to just 10. This is due to the system providing accurate validation oversight, which provides a significant reduction in rework or resubmissions, and an overall increase in application to offer conversions, all of which makes life easier for administrators and faster for clients. So to summarize, AI in the application submission stage doesn't just speed things up, it ensures the quality of data, flags problems early, and makes affordability checks more consistent. That means less chasing, fewer declines, and more time focused on helping the right cases move forward. Let's now move into the credit and risk assessment stage. So, this is where lending decisions are really made, right? So traditionally, lenders would rely on a fairly narrow band of inputs, credit scores, income, employment status, loan to value ratios, all important, but, also very binary and often very rigid. You're either above or below the threshold. And that kind of model often misses context. But AI changes the game here. It looks beyond the credit score. Today's AI-driven risk models can evaluate thousands of data points, not just the credit score itself. Some examples will include trends in monthly spending over time, consistency of income deposits, credit utilization patterns, not just the amount of debt, but how it's managed, and whether the debts are increasing or decreasing over time. This allows for a much more nuanced and personalized risk approach profile. This type of approach using machine learning, where models are trained on real performance data from past cases, learning what signals most accurately indicate future payment behavior. So rather than giving a basic yes or no decision, AI provides a risk probability score, helping underwriters or automated systems make more informed, balanced decisions. In practice, for administrators and lenders, the benefits of AI here could assist with spotting red flags that a human just might miss. For example, a client with a great credit score, but who's recently started cash advances or showing signs of financial stress, may now be seen as a growing risk. Again, it's the human and machine collaboration that's really going to be powerful moving forward. As I've already mentioned, AI doesn't remove humans from the loop, especially in complex or edge cases, but it supports them. It allows underwriters and administrators to make decisions faster, focus their attention on the right parts of an application, and defend decisions more clearly when needed. Some platforms even give a narrative of explanation of risk, turning out in plain English why an applicant has been declined or referred, which helps with both internal reviews and communication with brokers. So AI is moving with credit and risk assessment from a tick box exercise to a data-rich predictive process. It empowers administrators to work more efficiently, helps underwriters make smarter calls, and gets lenders more confidence to say yes, even when a case is outside of the traditional mold. Let's talk about fraud detection. So an area that's critical in mortgage administration. Trying to identify fraudulent documents has relied heavily on manual checks. That means somebody, maybe somebody like you, will be looking through payslips, bank statements, or ID documents closely, line by line, to spot signs that something might be off. That could be something as subtle as inconsistent fonts, unusual rounding of salary figures, or even slight image distortions where something may have been altered in Photoshop. But this process is time consuming, and no matter how skilled we are, we're human. So some things are bound to split through. Fraudsters are becoming more sophisticated, and the quality of forged documents are getting harder and harder to distinguish with the naked eye. This is where AI can really change in the game completely. So today, where the document is uploaded, AI-driven systems can immediately begin running fraud detection algorithms. These tools use optical character recognition, or OCR, which is something I'll come back to explain in a minute, to extract and interpret text from images or scan PDFs. They don't just read what's on the page, they actually understand it and compare it to expected formats and real examples from thousands of verified documents. For example, if a bank statement is uploaded, AI can detect whether any part of the document structure has been tampered with. Maybe the font doesn't match as a known template for that bank, or the space between characters seems slightly off, which can be a giveaway for digital manipulation. Some lenders, including MPowered, have systems that compare key data points across documents. So if the income listed on a payslip doesn't match the deposit shown on the applicant's bank statement, that discrepancy can be flagged instantly before a case even reaches an underwriter. Beyond visual forensics, AI is trained on massive data sets of previously fraudulent documents and applications. It can spot patterns in behavior or document structure that statistically are more likely to be fraudulent, such as unusual employer names, inconsistent tax codes, or addresses that are repeatedly appear across flagged cases. So from an admin point of view, what does this mean for you? Well, it means the system can actually act as an extra set of eyes that never get tired and never miss a beat. Rather than you spending 20, 30 minutes checking a document pack, the AI can flag any anomaly in seconds. You then shift into a more reviewer role, focusing your time and energy where it really counts, looking at why something has been flagged, not if it should have been. It also builds consistency into the process. AI applies the same standard of analysis to every document every time. That not only helps protect the business, but also helps protect you, because it means fewer opportunities for human error and fewer potential complaints or audit issues later on. And let's not forget the impact on turnaround times, because fraud checks can happen in real time. Applications can either move through the system faster or be stopped earlier if something doesn't add up. That's better for customers, and it's more efficient for brokers and administrators alike. To sum it up, AI doesn't replace your judgment, but it gives you an incredibly powerful toolkit to work smarter and faster with greater accuracy and confidence when it comes to spotting fraud. Let's move on to document processing. So something that sits at the heart of mortgage administration. If you've ever worked on a mortgage application, you'll know just how time-consuming document checking can be. Whether it's payslips, bank statements, P60s, or proof of ID, you have to go through each document carefully, checking for completeness, legibility, consistency, and whether the right information is actually there. You'll probably be looking at dates, cross-referencing names and addresses, confirming income patterns, all while trying to spot any red flags. This is not just repetitive, but it can be mentally draining. And when you're processing multiple cases a day, the margin for error increases. This is where technology, particularly optical character recognition or OCR, and natural language processing, NLP, is making a massive impact. So what do these terms actually mean in practice? Well, OCR is the technology that allows computers to read text from scanned documents or images. Let's say a broker admin uploads a JPEG of a bank statement. The AI can actually convert that image into readable, searchable text. But it's more than just copying out words. The system understands where that text fits on the page. So it knows that the £2,000 is under the salary line and that it matches a particular pay date. Then you add natural language processing or NLP into the mix, and that's when it gets even smarter. NLP enables the system to understand context. So it doesn't just see the word ABC Limited appear on the payslip. It knows that's the employer. It can differentiate between gross pay and net pay, pick out tax codes, and even detect whether an income is regular or variable. The same goes for bank statements. We can spot incoming and outgoing payments, categorize them into intelligently, salary, benefits, transfers, and anything else. So from an administrative perspective, what does this mean? Well, I think about a typical day. So instead of opening each document, scrolling through it manually and entering key values into the system, the AI can do all of that instantly. It can extract data, validate it, and flag anything unusual. For example, if somebody says they earn £3,000 a month, that the bank says that they got £2,000, the system can flag that for review. It also helps with completeness checks. So AI can confirm whether all required pages have been uploaded, whether they're legible, whether the dates and names match across documents, and whether anything is missing. Maybe the system only has 2 out of 3 pay slips uploaded to evidence for variable pay. It's almost like having a virtual assistant doing a first pass on every document pack before you even open the case. In our own system, we've seen turnaround times improve dramatically just from this shift. What might have taken 15-20 minutes to review manually can now be processed and validated in a fraction of the time, sometimes even in real time, as the broker or admin upload the document. From a compliance point of view, it's also easier to audit, right? An AI-generated data trail will show you exactly what's been extracted, when and why any discrepancies were found. This creates a robust record for the administrator and helps ensure decisions are based on consistent and documented evidence. In short, OCR and NLP don't remove the need for human insight, but they do make it much easier to focus your time on the exceptions rather than the routine. Instead of reading every line, you're focusing on things that don't match up, that look strange, or that require an extra layer of judgment. Again, it's not about replacing people, it's about removing the repetitive manual tasks that you can focus on what matters most. So let's move into underwriting, where AI is probably having the most direct impact on both service speed and administrative workloads. So additionally, underwriters have been a document-heavy process and a time-consuming one. A case would land on an underwriter's desk. You'd then need to cross-check every detail, income, affordability, credit history, documentation, and more. And if something was missing, unclear, or inconsistent, there'd be a chain of backwards and forwards between the underwriter, the admin, the broker, and sometimes over days or even weeks. But in the past few years, we've seen a shift towards automated and intelligent underwriting. Some lenders, especially those embracing fintech approaches, now use end-to-end API-based underwriting for certain cases. Now, let me explain what that means. An API or application programming interface is essentially a link for different software systems to talk to each other. It lets them share data and functions instantly. Instead of a case being submitted, then waiting in a queue for a human review, an API-driven system can assess lots of systems and processes that an underwriter would need to use in real time. It pulls in information from the application, runs affordability checks, validates documents, runs credit searches, and applies lending policy automatically, all within seconds. For straightforward cases where the income is simple, credit history is clean, and the documentation is complete, these systems can generate decisions almost immediately. In some cases, this means generating a mortgage offer instantly or the same day the case was submitted, something that would have been unheard of just a few years ago. But what about more complex cases, the kind that don't neatly fit into a standard box? Well, this is where AI-assisted underwriting comes in. Instead of replacing the underwriter, AI becomes a kind of intelligent co-pilot. It presents a summary of the case, flags potential issues, highlights areas that may need attention, and even offers recommendations based on previous case patterns. For example, if the applicant has a blip in their credit history, say missed payment from 18 months ago, the system might recognize that this is within policy and suggest proceeding, but while still letting the underwriter make the final call. From an administrative perspective, the benefits are huge. Fewer email and phone calls, fewer follow-ups, less back and forth between teams. Let the AI help get more things right first time, which just means smoother processing and fewer delays. Think about the most common reasons cases get stuck: missing documents, missing income, unusual credit data, affordability issues. AI systems can flag these immediately before or after submission so that they're addressed up front or even before a human underwriter even touches the case. This can include pulling transactions off the bank statements and asking the admin up front what these large transactions were for. As they were only going to be asked for at underwriting stage anyway. Again, it's just going to cut out that back and forth. This is basically going to lead to a more important point, to be fair. It's going to be time saved in underwriting and time saved across the board, right? So it means that the customer gets their offer faster. If the broker has a satisfied client, admins aren't having to chase lenders or clients back and forth for additional documents for explanations. Everybody benefits, and importantly, everyone looks good in front of their client. By applying consistent rules across all cases, the system can automatically process applications that meet the criteria, freeing up administrators and underwriters to focus on cases that require human judgment and a more nuanced approach. And again, from a compliance point of view, AI ensures that the same rules are applied to every case, every time, reducing the risk of inconsistency or human bias. So whether you're preparing a case, submitting documents, or liaising with brokers, AI-powered underwriting takes away many of the delays and frustrations that slow things down, helping us deliver on what really matters: fast, accurate decisions, and better service for everyone involved. So let's talk about some of the newer AI tools that are built specifically to help brokers, but which also help make life easier for administrators by improving the quality of submissions or even lead qualifying. These tools can significantly reduce errors and reduce the broker admin workflow. Here are a few powerful examples. So criteria systems. So at MPowered, we have a criteria system AI tool called Ask Max. This tool is trained on our lending policy. So instead of just needing to dig through long PDF guides or wait on hold to speak to a BDM, you can just type in a question, something like, do you accept applicants with a satisfied CCJ in the last 2 years? Or even just key in keywords like tier 2 visa. And you'll get an instant accurate response. And this is huge for admins because it improves the quality of the initial case submission. The more correct the information up front, the fewer errors and the less chasing you need to do later. Marketing Genius tools. While this isn't directly admin related, it could very much be utilized by admins to provide additional value through helping brokers maintain better client relationships. And that feeds into smoother pipelines. These tools can generate email campaigns, social media posts, and client updates, often using just a few prompts. It saves brokers time and helps them stay visible to their clients, which means they're more likely to bring in business and submit applications that are well prepared and thought through. Document checkers. So this one is very admin relevant. As I said before, a broker even submits a case. An AI document checker can scan the uploaded files to check for missing pages, incomplete documentation. Maybe they're missing a month's bank statement, or it's a low quality scan, name mismatches, or unreadable or non-compliant formats. You're no longer spending your time sending email after email asking for the second page of a bank statement. The system prompts brokers to get it right before they hit submit. All of these tools aim to do one thing: reduce the friction in the mortgage process. They won't replace the human relationships or the knowledge you bring to your role, but they'll take away the noise. The repetitive admin, the small errors, the time lost checking and rechecking information. They will just help cases flow better, brokers look more professional, administrators get through more work with fewer headaches, and ultimately clients get quicker outcomes and a better experience. So we've covered what AI and automation are doing today. Let's take a look ahead, not 10 years into the future, but more like 1 to 3 years from now, because change is happening that fast. One of the biggest upcoming shifts is something called hyper-personalization. You may have heard this term before. It's already been in online retail and banking, but it's now making its way into mortgage lending. And it's going to completely reshape how we communicate with clients and either tailor products to customers. So what is hyper-personalization? Well, traditional personalization in the mortgage world might be segmenting clients into broad categories. So first-time buyers, home movers, buy-to-let investors. Hyper-personalization takes this to the next level. It means tailoring every interaction, message, and recommending based on an individual's actual data. not just the group they fall into. It's like the difference between getting a flyer in the post that says mortgages for first-time buyers versus getting a message that says, "Hi Simon, based on your recent income growth, your rent history, and the properties you viewed online, you're now in a good position to consider a £250,000 mortgage. Do you want to book an appointment with your advisor?" That's not a sales pitch. That's personalized marketing powered by AI and data. To do this, AI draws on huge volumes of customer data, such as income trends over time, maybe from open banking, borrowing habits and repayment history, property search behavior, age, career stage, life events, household structure, and location. And from there, it builds real-time dynamic profiles, not static records in a CRM, but living profiles that update automatically. These profiles that lenders and brokers provide much more relevant options. For instance, if AI sees that a client's income has increased steadily over the last 18 months and they've begun browsing larger homes, it could proactively surface mortgage options that would suit them, perhaps even before they make an inquiry. But it's not just products that are going to be personalized, it's also the communication. Now, AI will tailor messages in tone and timing. A younger digital savvy borrower might receive short visual WhatsApp style messages. A more traditional client might prefer detailed email summaries with clearer explanations. Even newsletters and rate changes alerts will become marketed. Not "Dear valued customer," but "Hi Simon, this tracker rate might work better for you now that your fixed term is ending. Do you want to book something in?" This not only builds trust, but reduces admin workload by making clients' journey clearer and smoother from the start. They get the information they need when they need it, which reduces inbound queries and back and forths. From your perspective, hyper-personalization means cleaner pipelines, fewer unsuitable applications coming in, faster document collection because clients understand what they need to do, fewer errors and reworks as the right products and criteria are matched up front, and less chasing because systems prompt clients automatically. In time, admin teams may find that they spend far less time triaging inquiries or clarifying things and more time moving cases through to offer and completion. It also means that you'll be working with systems that proactively alert you to changes. For example, if an existing client is likely to need a remortgage soon, the platform can service that opportunity for a broker to act on, helping your firm stay ahead. Ultimately, hyper-personalization isn't just a nice to have, it's becoming an expectation. We're already seeing this in other industries. Clients are used to Netflix recommending the next show or Amazon suggesting what they'll need next week. That level of tailored experience will come to mortgages, and AI is the driving force behind it. For administrators, this is hugely significant because you'll be supporting a process that feels less like a transaction and more like a tailored journey, one where everybody involved is better informed and better served. And the more efficient we become behind the scenes, the more we can support advisors in building client relationships that actually last. Let's talk about what's next. So in many ways, what's already started to happen. So we're moving towards a world of full automation for standard applications. So that means for a growing portion of the cases, the entire process from the moment the broker or admin hits submit will be handled by AI and digital systems with minimal to no human intervention. We're already doing this at MPowered. We have cases where full mortgage offers have been produced instantly by the AI system without any human intervention after the broker or admin has submitted the case on the system. Now, to be clear, we're not talking about replacing people. What we're talking about is replacing tasks, especially the slow, repetitive ones that don't require judgment, that still take up time and energy. So let's break down step by step a fully automated mortgage journey, okay? So first of all, we've got document collection. Admin uploads bank statements, ID, pay slips. The system then uses the AI to check that they're genuine. Fraud detections, they complete and match the data entered. Data extraction and validation. So tools like OCR and NLP extract key information from those documents instantly. The AI will compare the extracted data from what was entered, checking for mismatches, affordability gaps, or missing pieces. Affordability and policy rules. The system applies the lender's affordability and credit rules in real time, and it flags whether the case is a go or a no-go without waiting for an underwriter to review manually. Underwriting decisions. So for standard vanilla cases, AI can make the call and generate an offer. In more complex cases, it can tee up a recommendation for a human underwriter to approve or tweak, saving time either way. And then finally, you've got the offer generation, where the system creates a full offer document automatically and shares it with the broker via the portal. Everyone is notified. There's been no printing, scanning, or emailing required. If you're working in mortgage operations or administrations, this shift is real. Practical consequences. We've got fewer delays, no more waiting on a person to do tick boxes or run calculations. We've got cleaner applications because the system's flagging things early. So by the time the case gets to you, it's far more complete. Reduced manual input. You're not checking documents line by line because the platform's already done that. And less back and forth, with fewer emails between brokers and underwriters chasing clarification, because AI surfaces the right questions instantly. This doesn't remove the need for a human oversight. It simply takes care of the repetitive work, freeing you up for more valuable tasks like reviewing edge cases, liaising with advisors, or helping push complex cases over the line. We're even at a point now where most, if not all, of a remortgage application could be populated with data extracted from client documentation. So rather than you even keying the employer names, income figures, and different things into fields, the AI has done that for you. Again, cutting down on rekeying and helping to reduce errors. As I mentioned, at MPowered, we've already seen this in action. Roughly 75% of our offers are offered the same day. That's 3 out of 4 cases. You actually have less chance of not having a same-day mortgage offer. This number has been consistent over the last couple of months and is increasing as brokers and admin understand how to use our system effectively. Not because we're cutting corners, but because the tech does the legwork. Everything, including document checking, credit scoring, affordability assessment, it all happens within minutes. Our teams don't spend hours moving cases from one stage to the next. They focus on spotting exceptions and managing complex or nuanced cases. As more lenders adopt this approach, it becomes a competitive necessity. Brokers will start expecting it. Clients will demand it. You might be thinking, if the whole process becomes automated, where do we fit in? And the answer is right where we need it most. So in the non-standard cases, the gray areas, the relationship building moments. AI is amazing at the rule-based stuff, but it's not good at nuance. It can't make a judgment call about unusual income or handle the emotional side of a distressed client trying to consolidate debt. So your role becomes more strategic, interpreting complex or borderline cases where a rule-based system can't see the full picture, making confident calls on exceptions, edge cases, and client-specific nuances, collaborating with underwriting and advisors to shape better outcomes on tricky cases, managing expectations where the automated rule flags something uncertain, and acting as a central point of expertise, helping keep the process human, fast, and client-focused. So automation is not just about speed, it's about consistency, compliance, and quality. The standard applications, we're already at the point at MPowered where AI can do it all, and in doing so allows administrators to focus on what they do best, supporting clients, solving problems, and helping your firm deliver service that feels effortless. That's the future, and it's not far away. Let's finish with what I think is probably one of the most important points of all, the role of humans in an AI-powered mortgage journey. There's a lot of hype around AI, and understandably, that can make people feel a bit uneasy. Will this replace my job? Are we automating ourselves out of a role? Let me reassure you, AI is not here to completely replace mortgage administrators, underwriters, or advisors. What is really going to be doing is becoming a collaborative partner. Think of it this way: AI is brilliant at doing repetitive, data heavy tasks. People are brilliant at empathy, judgment, and decision making in context. AI handles the admin, the analysis, the rules. You handle the relationship, the insight, and the care. Take an example: admin can upload a bank statement, the AI can scan it, extract the figures, flag it for incomplete, even check if it matches the declared income. But it's the administrator who follows up, provides clarity, and ensures the client feels reassured and supported. That partnership between AI and human input is what leads to real efficiency without compromising service. Traditionally, so much the mortgage admin role has been about chasing paperwork, checking figures, and filling in forms. Important work, but it's not the most rewarding. Now, AI is removing some of those bottlenecks, reduces the time for reviewing documents, auto-validates information as it comes in, and it helps you spot earlier rather than react to them later. That means you spend less time fixing problems and more time adding value, supporting brokers, guiding clients, improving case quality submissions, and playing a bigger role in getting cases through smoothly. The shift is already happening in leading firms, and administrators aren't being cut out, but they're being upskilled. They're becoming the gatekeepers of quality, trainers of AI systems, feedback loops for product teams, and in many cases, the most valuable link between technology and customer outcomes. The skills that matter now, and even more so in the future, include knowing how to use and interpret AI outputs, spotting when something doesn't look right, even when the system says it's fine, communicating clearly between broker, client, and tech platforms. So rather than fearing AI, it's about partnering with it, just like you would with any trusted colleague. AI doesn't replace the human touch, it enables it. If the system handles the grind, you can have more time to do things that really matter. Talking to people, solving problems, helping get cases over the line, and giving clients a better experience overall. We mean that literally. It's there to make your job better, not take it away. And in this next chapter of mortgage administration, the most successful professionals will be the ones who embrace that partnership and learn how to get the best out of both worlds, human and machine. So thank you very much for your time today. Whether you're an administrator or in any other role, I hope this has given you a useful, practical glimpse into how AI technology are reshaping the mortgage process, and more importantly, how you can be part of that change. There's never been a more exciting or more important time to get familiar with what these tools can offer.
Thank you.
I'll thank you very much, Shakina.
Thank you, Simon. I hope everyone watching found that very insightful, and it gave people a lot to take away and to think on, and obviously the reassurance that they won't be replaced by AI anytime soon. It'll be more support and more support system. So thank you very much, and thank you for your very good presentation. And to everyone watching, the next presentation will be in about half an hour at 1:15. So please feel free to explore the resources section of this website in the meantime. And thank you again, Simon, for being with us and for your presentation.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Bye.